Welcome back to part 6 of getting your commercial endorsement. This is Cardigan Bay Fishing Adventures and I am David Barber. In part 6 we're going to talk about Day Skipper. This course was absolutely amazing. I absolutely loved it. I was doing chart work, I was doing all sorts. The list is endless. I have made a video when I was doing this. I was doing the day course, coming back to my hotel at night, and there is actually a full video I've made. So what I'm going to do is put that video in now. Well, welcome back to Cardigan Bay Fishing Adventures. As you can see, this is the Day Skipper part that I'm doing for the chartering. The plan for this, there's lots of different courses to do. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to tell you how to do it and all the in-depth parts of it, but it's like an overview sort of thing. So today's day 1, this is a 5-day course. What this is, as you can see, it says on there, the Day Skipper shore-based course. This one says over a Day Skipper and Watch Leader. I'm not going to talk about pricing because obviously every different provider will charge different prices. The material I've been given to do this, the dividers and the plotter didn't come with it. There's a training almanac, if I've pronounced that right there. That didn't come with it. With this course that I'm doing with this company, which is Swansea Water Sports, you get the Day Skipper book there, training charts. These are not real, they're just practice ones, made up worlds. You get another little book there. You then get that book and you get like cards with little things on there to help you with stuff, as you can see right there. Tidal things, stuff like that. Today's course, day 1, was very basic. I'll say basic. It was just going over quite a few bits. It was going over cardinals, buoyage, like you have your green to starboard, red to port, that sort of thing. There was a little bit of chart work, not a hell of a lot, but we had to do some chart plotting with the numbers and stuff like that. Basics really. I'm guessing tomorrow will be a lot more in depth and it'll get deeper and deeper as we go into it. Not sure really what to expect. There's not too much online, so this is what I'm going to do, a video series. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here telling you how to do it and everything like that. I'm going to do the course. Once I pass, I may do a video of plotting some courses, stuff like that, but I need to learn myself the proper way. So that's it really. This is going to be part 1, I suppose, and day 1 of this. Obviously tomorrow I will do another video on top of this one and explain what I've done. So yeah, that's it really. We'll keep going and see how it goes. Well, this is day 2. Well, no, it's not day 2, it's the end of day 2. Today, I'm just going to basically go through what we covered today. Obviously, I'm not showing you what we've done because I've not passed this course yet. I'm in the middle of it. Today, I found personally very full on. There was a lot of information. I'm still trying to process it. Going through things, I don't know what to say at this stage. I'm 6 out of 10 sure of today, if you want to say that. There's things I know what I need to do to calculate, but I don't know how to calculate it, if that makes sense. I need to do it a few more times just to get it fresh in my brain. I'll go over briefly what we've covered today. This is day 2 of the Day Skipper theory. Obviously different course providers may structure it different to this one, so don't take this like as this is as it is, because it may be done over different days. Today, when we got there, we covered safety and seamanship. The only thing I can say about that really, a lot of it seems like common sense. There's no right or wrong answers. So it asks you, if you do a safety briefing on your boat, for example, what would you do a briefing on safety? So you'd explain how a life jacket works, where the life jackets are stored, where the flares are stored, technically how you set a flare off without setting it off, explain a bit of the VHF to them, sort of thing. It's basics, it's common sense stuff, so there was no right or wrong answers on that part. Then this is in no order either, this is just what I remember when I got home. Now I've just wrote stuff down. Next we covered tide heights, then we covered secondary ports, which is tide heights. So for example, for where we live, let's just say where I live, let's just say Milford Haven's the main port. So all the tides are done from Milford, and then, for example, so they're done from Milford, so Swansea is going to be earlier or later. There's a little triangle graph you have to do, and you can calculate what the tide will be. We learnt about that. We learnt about tidal streams. basically the bearing in degrees, which way they go. You got numbers on there for neaps and springs for the speed of the tide. We learnt about that. Tidal curves, which was quite confusing. I don't know if I've got a graph buried in one of these cards somewhere. So that is one of the tidal curve graphs. So yeah, a quick brief thing. You got to put your high water in the middle, then your hours after, your hours before, and then you can draw your lines basically where you need to be. I'm not going to go into detail with it. As I've said, I'm not trained on it all. So I'm still learning, so there's no point me trying to tell you how it works because I don't know really myself. After the tidal curves, there was compasses and fixes, which was mind-blowing, to be honest. There's a lot that I did not know that really I should know for the amount of time I've been out on the sea doing boating. With the compass, there's a lot of different stuff that I wished I knew before, and it would have made things make a lot more sense in the past out on the boat, because I've had issues and I couldn't work out what I was doing wrong. Doing this course is actually showing me where I was going wrong. A compass, this is brief, basic. A compass is magnetic because it's on the boat and it's floating and it moves. It's the magnetic pull of the earth. The chart is done in true, so it points dead straight north, like the poles, North Pole, South Pole. The magnetic north is not in the same place as the true north. It's very, very weird. I won't go into too much detail about that because I may confuse you. Obviously this course teaches you about that. But on a chart like this one, this is a training chart, that's called a rose compass. On there it tells you what the variation is on this part of the chart. Charts will have other rose compasses on them for the area that you're in. So this is obviously a training chart, but you can see we've got a rose compass here, we've got a rose compass there, we've got a rose compass there. So if you're in that area there, that's the variation you need to use. If you're in this area, that variation, and so on with that one in that area. Yeah, it's a lot to take in. It really, really is. You learn about that side of it all. Then we learnt about, like I'm just saying now, the variation between true and magnetic. And the next thing was deviation, which that's also to do with compasses. The deviation, the way I took it on board that day, it doesn't seem to be as important, but you need to know about it. The deviation is basically, let's just say, this is your compass on the boat, like this, and then you get your mobile phone and put it next to the compass. The compass will shift a little bit. So anything metallic, anything metal, speakers, your GPS, your sonar, anything with metal or like a magnetic interference will move your compass. So you have to set the deviation. The deviation is different for every single boat on the sea. Private vessels, like I've got a fishing boat, you do not need it. But I think if it comes down to coding or vessels that'll have passengers on, you have to have basically a graph of deviation. So you would do your variation from true to magnetic. You'll have your new bearing basically with the adjustment, but then you need to add in the deviation on your own personal vessel, your own boat. So let's just say north on your compass is 0 or 360, for example, 0 degrees or 360 degrees, which is dead north. Once you do your change on true to magnetic, you may be at 10 degrees and that's still going to take you north. The deviation with your boat could end up throwing it at 25 degrees, but that's still going to take you north. So yeah, it's very, very, very confusing, and you just got to get your head around it all. There's little things to do to work things out, which you'll learn on this day. Tomorrow, I don't know what I'm doing yet. Tomorrow I've got a feeling it's to do with dead reckoning, course to steer, all of that sort of stuff. I think, we haven't been told. So today's day 2, and we've took in a lot of information. From day 2 now, I'd say, well, how hard is the course? I don't think the course is that difficult. That's the God's honest truth. A lot of the stuff I can remember. If someone gives me a bearing now, I can put it onto a chart accurately. I can take positions off the chart accurately, and I've only been doing it 2 days. So I don't think it's that difficult, but it's just so much information to take in, if that makes sense. So if you're doing a course like this, be ready for it. Have plenty of sleep, and just, yeah, be ready. Take a book, like I've got here, and take notes, which I didn't do today, believe it or not. It's a big, big, big mistake, because I got home tonight. I got back to the hotel tonight wanting to do a few things, and I sat there and I thought, I can't remember this and I can't remember that. So yeah, it's a pretty full-on course. so just be ready for it. Obviously, I'll be back tomorrow with a video explaining what we've done on day 3, then day 4, and then day 5 is my tests. There's actually 2 tests, which I found out today. I wasn't sure. I'm seriously nervous. I really am nervous, but I'm doing everything I can. It is now, I'll actually show you the time. It is now 20 to 11 on the night. I've been back in this hotel room since 5 p.m. and I've done nothing but chart work and practicing. I'm literally throwing everything I've got at it, because with me, the way I personally learn, the more I do something, I've got it, it'll stick in. I was doing a little thing down here where I was doing a dead reckoning in this area, so I had to plot a course up there, then put the tide in down to there, and then that's the actual course, like course overground, the way we was going. Yeah, there's a lot to learn, so I'm practicing like mad. I'll be back on day 3. Well, this is day 3. Well, the end of day 3. It's been pretty full on today. My opinion of it all. Now I've done the 3 days so far. We've got one more day tomorrow than the test on the last day, or the 2 tests. My take on it all, it's pretty easy, which probably sounds a bit big-headed, but there's an exception to that. Generally, all the stuff we're doing is not difficult. The problem I've got is, and the problem that I think most people will have, is remembering everything. Because there's, I don't know how to explain it as such really, but when you're doing certain things, there's different procedures or a certain order to work things out in. And it's a lot to remember what order to put it all in. For example, when you're plotting a course, you've got all these different symbols which you put on your different lines, and like on this one where you've got like an estimated position, yeah, your estimated position's up here, a fix is there, that's a waypoint. Then you've got 1 arrow, 2 arrows, 3 arrows that you put on your different lines for when you're plotting courses. Today, I've wrote it in the book because I probably would have forgot. Today we have done, I'm trying to talk a bit quiet because we're in a hotel room and it's pretty late. Day 3, I've marked a few things that we did, and most of it was based around this dead reckoning and estimated positions. We've also learned basically time, distance and speed. You get the distance that you're travelling, you divide that by the speed, you times it by 60, and it gives you a arrival time to these points. We did quite a bit on the weather, which is like fog, different types of like where the wind is, and wind against tide and tides, and I can't pronounce it properly, the Beaufort scale, I think they used to say. Basically when you've got like sea states of like 2 and 3 and 4s and 5s and 6s, goes all the way up to 12. So we've got all of that. Tonight I've had a big chunk of homework. As you can see here, it starts off with the question A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then it goes on to H. Then it goes on to number 2. So you can see, just off one thing, I've got all my bearings here, the distances between each bearing. Then I've got the approximate distance and the time travelled to get to the point. The tide, we had to find out the tide for the area. Then we had to use the tidal prediction to find out when the tide goes from north to south, basically. Explain why there could be issues, which I've done. The entrance could be difficult to locate from offshore. This is what it says in basically when you read about that marina or that harbour. Then you've got things about the depth. Can you leave a harbour further up the coast at a certain time? I had to do calculations to work it out. Yes, you can. They asked you when will you be leaving that harbour to come down the coast, basically on that passage plan that you did. I'd be leaving it plus 4 hours after high, because that's when the tide is at its strongest, pushing you. So it's basically up your arse, getting you down there quicker, basically. Saves fuel, I suppose, and it's just a better passage. Then it asks about, is there going to be any dangers? There's shallow water leaving the first one. You can see there, basically the shallow areas on the way. It could get a bit more lumpy, because at one point there's like wind against tide and everything in the beginning. Then it says, do you consider it to be a safe passage? I do, but there's exceptions. And then you got to do a contingency plan, a backup plan in case something goes wrong on that trip. So yeah, there's a lot to do. Then at the end, Basically, you got to do like a checklist, 8 items you'd put on your checklist before you'd leave somewhere. Obviously, there's a lot more than 8 items on a checklist, but you've got to just put down 8 that you can think of. None of this is, don't know what to, you don't want to overcomplicate it. A lot of it is common sense stuff that you just put down. You do think, that's too simple, but it's not. That's what you need to do. They want to see how your brain's working, how you're thinking on the spot. So when you sit there trying to calculate things and overcomplicating it, there's just no need. That's what I've been told today. A few of the things we've been doing with passage planning and plotting, we've made it harder for ourselves because we've been thinking there's no way it's just that simple, but it is just that simple. And he says it is that simple. Problem is you're making it like it's harder, so you're making the actual calculations harder for yourself. It don't need to be. So literally, you just do it as you think. That's the only way I can put it. And when you're trying to complicate it, you start making mistakes. This is what we were being told today. So tomorrow, I'm not 100% what we've got to do tomorrow. I think there might be more course to steer planning, where you put a thing on the chart and get the bearings and do variations and all that sort of stuff. We did a little bit of leeway today. Leeway is wind, so we had to put a bit of a variation in for leeway as well. So yeah, as you can see, I've been waffling quite a while. Today was a very full-on day. Anyway, I'm going to disappear for now, and I will be back again tomorrow. This may be a bit of a weird video, but yeah, trying to give you a day-by-day, step-by-step thing that I'm doing. So yeah, I'll see you on day 4. See how we got on day 4, see how I feel on day 4, ready for the test on day 5. Well, that's the end of day 4. As you can see, 11:15. I've been doing an insane amount of revising today. We finished a bit earlier today. I don't know what time it was now, 3 o'clock-ish. I've been absolutely flat out revising. Today, we've covered a bit of everything. We did a bit about anchoring, which surprised me because it's completely different to what I've always done. It's a bit shocking, but that's just the way it is. It's different by the regulations. We did shapes and sounds, which is foghorn sounds and day shapes, they call it. There's like black coloured things, circles, diamonds, triangular shaped things, that sort of thing. We did stuff on collision regulations, basically the right of way in the sea. Technically there's no right of way, but there sort of is. It's a bit of a weird one, bit of a grey area. We did a lot about that. And then what else did we do? Did some of the lights on the boats. Trying to think what else. It's a mixture of everything really. A couple of people in the course wanted to go over dead reckoning again, so they went over that again. Just talked about stuff, basically, just a bit of an update. I've revised and revised and revised and revised, and tomorrow is test day. Fingers crossed I pass it. Am I confident? I don't know. I'd say 80% yes. I think I will pass it. But questions may come up that I'm not going to recognise, if you know what I mean. As far as I know, there's 2 tests, 1.5 hours each. I don't know what order they're in, but I think one is based around charts and one is based around multiple choice, I think it is. But I'll know more after tomorrow. I can let you know. And I can let you know how I think I got on. The first test, I think I'll have the results for tomorrow. The second test, I won't. It could take 3 or 4 days. I'll get an email telling me if I've passed or failed. Fingers crossed they're both a pass and I get the certificate. If not, I'm resitting it, and I'll keep resitting it until I pass it. I'm not giving up till I get the certificate. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen. I've done as much as I physically can without burning myself out, if you want to call it that. I've literally just put all this away. So you've seen the time on the other videos I've done from each day. I've been literally morning till night for the last 4 days, really drumming this stuff into myself. To me, I've really enjoyed it. It's like going back to the roots, the heritage, I suppose, if you want to call it that, of navigating. You're working on paper, you're using plotters, dividers. I don't know, it's just hands-on. It's not on a tablet or a phone where you just press and hold your waypoint, click go, and it does it all for you. It's just, I don't know, it's just the original way to do it, and it's just really, really enjoyable to learn for me personally. I've loved it. I would recommend this to anybody, whether you're going to use it commercially or not. The information you learn in this is massive. It's valuable as well. I'm not just saying that, it really is. There's a lot of things that I wished I knew for all these years I've been doing it. I didn't know, obviously, but yeah, I do now. So fingers crossed we pass this course and we can move to the next step, which I think I'm doing the Day Skipper practical in around 2 weeks, weather dependent. Obviously, if the weather's bad, we can't go out on the boat. So That's going to be a lot harder than this, I'm guessing. So let's hope I pass that, and then we can keep going through the steps. And yeah, this will be the series, obviously, and this is the first part to it for me personally. It's a bit backwards, I think. I probably should have done the other stuff first and then done this, but this is the way I've done it. This is the way it's working. So I'm going to get off. I'm going to get in bed. I'm up early in the morning. I'm probably going up at 6:30 tomorrow. I'm going to get up to the training centre an hour earlier and just do a little bit more revising before the test. As far as I know, we can get in there at 8:30, do a bit of revision, and then I think 10 o'clock the testing starts. The other people in the course are seriously nervous, like me. I'm really nervous, but I suppose when you really want something badly, you do get nervous because it's a big thing if I pass or fail. I suppose if you did this course and you wasn't really bothered, you wouldn't be nervous, would you? But I've done everything I can to physically pass this course. So if I do fail tomorrow, I'm trying to make myself feel better already, but if I do fail, it's not through lack of trying, because I've literally chucked everything I've got at it. My take on the course, all of it is really easy, which sounds really stupid to say, but it actually is. You're drawing a few lines on a chart, squares, triangles, arrows. Problem is remembering the order everything goes in. That is the issue. Same as the boat lights. You've got a red and a green and a white, but then on a bigger boat, you've got a red, a green and two whites, things like that. So it is all basic stuff. It is simple in the grand scheme, but it's remembering absolutely all of it and putting it all together. It's a lot. It's a lot of information in 4 days. So if you do this course, be ready for it, because it is a lot of information. That's all I'll say. I don't think it's difficult. I don't think it's hard. It just depends. People absorb stuff at a different rate. If you're a slower learner, maybe try and do a slightly more basic course than this one, just to get a bit of insight into it. I don't know. I think there is easier courses there to do before you step up to this. I think so. But check with your local training centre. So yeah, I'm going to get off to bed. I'm going to say goodnight. And I'll be back tomorrow to let you know how I feel I've got on or how I think I've got on. I should have results off one test, so fingers crossed with passing them. But I'm going to be honest with you, if I fail, I'll tell you I failed, and I'll go through the steps of what I've done to pass. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Well, I passed the test, thankfully. It was a lot harder than I expected. A lot of things come up which I didn't expect to come up. Basically, you got light, shape, sounds, all that sort of thing. The lights part really caught me out. On revision, I was absolutely fine with the lights, but then when it come up in the test, my mind went blank. There was also questions on cardinals, there was questions on safety, there was just little bits and bobs. Obviously I can't tell you what is in the test because it could change. We come to the chart work, and we had quite a few questions on the chart work and doing basically courses to steer, dead reckoning, estimate positions, all that sort of thing. Next is the practical, which is about 2 weeks away, weather dependent. Not sure what this series will come out like. Obviously I'm going to be doing videos along the way just to try and give you an insight into what I'm doing. And if you're doing it, it gives you a little bit of an idea, because I couldn't find any information. So anyway, Day Skipper theory is ticked off the box, passed. I hope you enjoyed it. If you can, please give the video a like, consider subscribing to the channel and click the notification bell to stay up to date with my recent uploads. Thank you for watching, I'll see you in the next one.